in court, and he told journalists that even if the court frees him, he will still be killed in front of camera. Do you think the rest of the world is not saying that? Somebody who is a special advisor to minister in Nigeria, he is in support of killing people for blasphemy. These are the characters in the corridors of power, making decisions or influencing decisions that affect millions of lives. And then they will turn around and say, oh, they want to use propaganda to divide Nigeria. All of us must wake up, as if to say you are being honest. You are happy for them to kill me if I say something about your Muhammad. You're actually really mad. You think that's actually a real country where you are happy, as educated as you are, and trying to convince me that blasphemy is because we have to... You mad, Dini? So these mad ideologies have been somehow injected into your system in Nigeria. Some of you, out of fear, you have heard it back. So last, it's going to be an implosion. Again, look at this one. They want to kill somebody for blasphemy. Rukaya, he's in support. But when you look at the text on the right, you see her started saying, oh, they are saying they are killing Christians. They are saying they want to use propaganda. Everybody is saying the same thing. This mofo served as Boko Haram's PA. Yes, on media. This terrorist. He served under Boko Haram as a special advisor. He said, I can't pretend or keep silent. I support the death penalty for blasphemy. That's my belief, and I do not and will never support Safe Kanunai. It is an honor to be called an Islamic extremist. Only for Diolori Bruku to turn around and say, oh, they are paying people to blackmail northerners, to blackmail Muslims. You, who is a Muslim, automatically will think, oh yeah, I mean, if you don't like America anyway, right? Just be like, America is trying to... Don't listen to them, Papa. They are killing people in Nigeria. If they are killing Muslims as well, this energy that most of them have for Gaza and Palestine, if they share just half of that with their compatriots inside Nigeria, do you think there won't be much difference in the fight against terrorism? But they don't give a damn. What they are pushing now is to try to convince others and say, hey, you know what? We are living in peace. Everybody is living at peace. Which peace? Which kind of graveyard peace do they live? Terrorists are invading. Terrorists are invading military barracks, military posts, naval posts. They are cutting away weapons. They are terrorizing people in a never seen before. So if you agree that they have killed more Muslims, terrorists have killed more Muslims in Nigeria than Christians, why did you wait for American senator or American podcaster to talk about the killings of Christians? What does actually take you the expose on the killings of? So this is why we said Trump is obviously going to get involved soon. And for those of you who knows how Trump operates, right? Number one, that's the political part I'm going to go to now, so that I can probably help reshuffle your mind to make you realize that let's speak any useful info out of all I'm going to share with you. Never leave this conversation with the impression that maybe one day America is going to kind of get Tifnubu for you. No, you will get Tifnubu yourself. Are they likely going to give you the tools to do that? Well, time shall tell, but we'll get to that part. Ted Cruz, the Texas senator, has already moved a bill that is now called the S2747. All right. And the content of this bill is listed on your screen in this, graph from the over 100 pages of bill is submitting on how to deal with those who are sponsoring terrorism in Nigeria. So let's see if I can pick some of the contents, right? The bill. It said the bill. Hang on, let's start from the top. It said, now I'm going to start from the bill. So it said to require, or should we start from the top, by the way? Just intro. So it said to require the Secretary of State to designate the Federal Republic of Nigeria as a country of particular concern, to impose certain sanctions and for other purposes. One, be it enacted by the Senate and House of Representatives of the United States of America in Congress assembled. Section 1, short title, the act may be cited as the Nigeria Religious Freedom Accountability Act of 2025. Section 2, imposition of sanctions. In general, the president shall impose the sanction described in executive order. It goes soon get messy. For those who know Trump and the way they do it, Abi. So the president shall impose the sanction described in executive order 13818. That's a 50 USC. So 1701 note relating to blocking the property of persons involved in serious human rights abuse or corruption on the persons identified in the report required under subsection B. So B, report required. In general, not later than 90 days after the date of the enactment of this act, and annually thereafter, the Secretary of State shall submit to the appropriate congressional committees a report listing Nigerian persons who are A, federal officials or state governors who have, during the period specified in paragraph 2, 1, promoted, enacted, or maintained Nigerian blasphemy laws, including through public advocacy, legislative action, or executive enforcement directives, or 2, tolerated violence by non-state actors, invoking religious justifications to commit acts of violence, including persons designated as 1, foreign terrorist organizations, pursuant to Section 219A of the Immigration and Nationality Act of the U.S. Constitution, that's a 118A, or, now they follow, they say, or going for Daniel. So simply means all those ones who have all these stolen properties, stolen money, buying properties in America, saving their money in America. Like Patawali has about 2 wives in America, 2 wives in Nigeria. So he spent most time in America than he spent in Zamfara when he was their governor, by the way, right? So there are so many of them from that northern part of Nigeria. So the point here is that these criminals, in order to enable these terrorists, they introduced what they call the non-kinetic, the way where terrorists are allowed to carry Quran, hold Quran and say, I no go do it again. If you just hold the Quran, if you have killed hundreds, thousands of people, just hold the Quran and say, I no go, wallahi tallahi, I no go do it again. That means you have been forgiven. All those criminal governors, Sharia governors, all those terrorists from northern part of Nigeria, I want to see how that goes, how that plays out. And then Tifnumbu, those ones who are enabling is through legislation, through an act of law, parliament, to smuggle all these ideas, including state governors. All of you state governors who are currently smuggling your Sharia blasphemy into your, into Southwest, especially Yoruba land. Your day will come. Like again, it's not like America will do much to them. What America will really do to them is just to take their properties, take their money, the one they've stolen from you, the one they are putting away for the raining day, right? When Kasala burst, they will fly to America. So, and America can also compel its own allies to go after them as well. How that will end, we don't know yet. So this is why you have been reading more from the Arewa terrorists on social media, doing everything to delegitimize or to downplay the Christian genocide in Nigeria perpetrated by the Fulani terrorists and the Boko Haram terrorists, enabled by some of these terrorist governors from northern part of Nigeria. Do you get that? So, Ted Cruz continued. So, too, specially designated global terrorist pursuant to Executive Order 1322-4, 50 U.S. Constitution 1701 note relating to blocking properties and prohibiting transactions with persons who commit, threaten to commit, or support terrorism, or B, judges, magistrates, prison officials, or other judicial or law enforcement authorities who have, during the period specified in paragraph 2, enforced blasphemy laws, including through prosecution, conviction, imprisonment, or other deprivation of liberty of individuals pursuant to such laws. Period specified. The period specified in this paragraph is A, with respect to the first report required by paragraph 1, the period beginning 10 years before the date of the enactment of this act. And ending on the date on which the report is submitted. And with respect to each subsequent such report, the period, the period beginning on the date on which the provision such report was submitted. Make I do some shalaye there for you so that you can understand. Rather than for the Arewa to be Arewa that believes that these terrorists are not Muslims who are killing the Christians in Nigeria, because the Christians in Nigeria are considered as infidel. Infidel are those who they believe have no real value. They are not humans. They are worthless. And if they are slaughtered, according to their, according to their hadith or their jihad, if you are slaughtered, it is inconsequential. Better thing is that, even if the terrorist is slaughtering or shot or killed, killing you as you are already dying, they will still celebrate and say, maybe you will go to heaven if you can shout, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Rasulullah, Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, Allahu Akbar. That means you mentioned the name of Muhammad. You are going to heaven. A terrorist kill you. That's how deluded these mofos are, by the way. So they have 6 ways of lying. Remember when their Satan of Shokoto said jihad is just to thrive or to strive to do better, to do good, and all of that. They are allowed to lie to you. This murderous terrorist, by the way. So they have something called Takia, okay, Shia or Mudarat for the Sunnis, right? So it's a tactical deceit for the purposes of spreading Islam. So these terrorists in their jihad way, right? So they have another one called Kitman. Is a deceit by omission, e.g., when Muslim misquote Surah. Say, why did you quote that wrong one? They do it intentionally just to kind of like you know what I mean? So he said there's another one called Toria. Toria is deceit by ambiguity. Another one is called Taisir, which is deceit through facilitation, not having to observe all the tenets of Sharia. Because normally, like, the Sharia was supposed to make you a better Muslim. Somebody will respect others. Somebody will share you get. But this terrorists and their violent ways that they are trying to spread in that contraption, right? No. Their own Sharia is not the Sharia you probably will read about. That's why I don't really appreciate some of you are the moderate Muslims. You know a lot of these things I'm talking about. You know how most of these mofos have exploited this link and they've managed to garner enough followership that believes them as well. So you know all of this. You are supposed to be speaking out more. You are more enlightened. You are more educated to say, well, you know what? Listen, this, be more vocal. But it's more or less like even Muslims, the other moderate Muslims, they are afraid of the violent Muslims. Why some moderate Muslims see in those violent terrorists what they can't do, right? But when they see them do it, they just be like, glory be to God, Allahu Akbar. And that's why you see educated people and be like, why are you supporting that kind of violence? It's because the ideology, if you pay attention very well, the ideology of violence, terrorism, and the rest of that is synonymous with these mofos from this northern part of Nigeria. And the idea of clearing and killing infidels is like normal thing. So if the terrorists are killing Muslims, which is true, they are killing Muslims too, by the way. So the fact that they are killing Muslims, right? If all of you are so concerned, right, you should be speaking up for these Muslims they are killing too. And they mount pressure on the government that is romancing them. Not try to now say we are all fine. We are living happy in Nigeria. We are, you know what I mean? You are not living happy in Nigeria. There's so many of you that, you are closet terrorists. If your day comes, if you have a chance, you will kill in the name of your religion. And that's what America is saying. Religion and liberty. That should be the fundamental human right. So every one of them who has been involved in the last 10 years, right? When they tell you that I won't go do for America, what is in America? I don't have anything to go and do in America. They are lying to you. If their name features in any of these terrorist enablers, those who are trying to spread blaspheming law in Nigeria, spread Sharia law in Nigeria, those who are helping them to draft bills that will become laws in those status of assembly, you or woman, and go touch you. And guess what? Finally, there will be a lot of you that will later discover that, most of these people, including the terrorists themselves and their sponsor, they have no real thing to do with religion, but they are committing terrorism behind the cover of religion, because that's how they can get empathy or sympathy from those of you who genuinely have your religious beliefs. These terrorists in Nigeria and their sponsor, right? They do not deserve to live, so to say, if you have a real government in that contraption, which you don't. Ted Cruz was on his own platform where he actually mentioned this whole thing. But briefly, the guy I'm talking about.
We're also going to talk about legislation I introduced this week to protect Christians in Nigeria. Nigeria has seen a persecution of Christians that has been staggering. Just this week, over 60 people were murdered by jihadists, by radical Islamists in northeastern Nigeria. They executed soldiers. They went house to house. This pattern of targeting Christians, targeting Catholic priests, targeting individual men, women, and children is horrific. And my legislation would put real consequences on the government of Nigeria and those who are facilitating this persecution, put real consequences on them to change that. We're also going to talk.
So now, how can Trump's interference influence things? Many ways. Okay, many ways. Because the first part is that simply means for the second time during his presidency, the issue of killing Christians in Nigeria will end up on his table again. And this time around, probably will remember the encounter he had with Bokwari when he asked Bokwari face to face, why are Christians being killed in Nigeria? You've done nothing about it. And Bokwari, as usual, mumbled. That was the time after it was like a vegetable in London then, right? So he came back from that London trip, then he went to America before 2019. Trump asked him, but he didn't do anything afterward. Yeah, he didn't. Or practically maybe 2019, and by 2020, COVID came, and then all that happened. So now, maybe for the second time, getting attention of the American government has its own good and bad side. Let me give you a bit of context again. When Barack Obama, and the Democratic Party of America, when they became interested in Nigeria, It was simply because at the time, Nigeria was already on their radar, where the human rights abuses, the blah, America have kind of got wind of that. Goodluck Ebele Jonathan rejected the gay bill. He didn't reject it. National Assembly rejected it, and he signed the rejected bill, which